sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. Yo, you woke up one violence this morning, huh, Jazz? Woke up talking about karate.
You need some WD-40 on your mic.
Oh, man. Thank you guys for joining in. If it's your first time checking us out, we greatly appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning, whether you're watching us on Facebook, Twitter, whatever social media platform or listening to us in your car. We greatly thank you very much. Good morning. How are you guys?
Good, man.
Yeah.
Slightly hungover a bit, but you know.
Oh, wow. So you woke up on water this morning, then, huh?
Yeah. I think I'm on like my third bottle already.
Hey,
it was hard to get out of bed this morning anyways, just with the rain and it all gloomy and everything. So on top of the hangover, that's a wrap, man.
Yeah. I didn't catch rain till on the way here.
Ugh.
I was on it this morning. I woke up, ate some breakfast, cut my grass.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm hyped. What y'all doing? Good morning.
Dang, Steve's in the geriatric club.
Man, I'm telling you, you got to keep my grass
got
green.
12 tasks done before 9 a.m.
That's right. Hey, but you know, like, funny thing is, getting stuff done early, like, makes my day go much more smooth. Like,
it feels better. Like, once you get it done early and then you can just relax, it's nice. But for me, it's the doing it part. Like, if I can get there, then we'll see. We'll see from there.
Yeah, and we talked about karate. We're live inside of Javier, our studio in Javier Arena, and there's some karate going on. Did you guys want to do karate when y'all were kids?
I think the Karate Kid made me want to do karate.
Really?
Movie. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I thought that Cobra Kai gym was kind of dope. I like the little Cobra Kai logo and everything. That was hard.
Yeah, I didn't. Even though they watched karate when I was a kid.
Like, even though they were punks, like picking on old Daniel's son.
Jazz, you watch karate, or did you want to do karate?
I was never really interested. My brother got really deep into it, so I was a fan. But I watched him chop a couple blocks or whatever they do. You know,
that's what I wanted to do. Is just like light the boards on fire and then put my hand through them. That was like the thing that I wanted to do, if nothing else.
You just wanted the anime vibes.
Yeah,
you were just there for the vibes.
Sure.
Me and my cousins used to like try to break these boards that were just in this field.
Really?
And we was messing our hands up.
Oh man, we got a lot to talk about this morning. We're gonna dive into Patrick Mahomes. He's got a new deal. Does that leave any of his teammates upset? We'll talk about that. Also, the Chiefs take on the Bears. The Bears had a lot going on this week. Defensive coordinator leaving, their quarterback talking on social media or to media in general. And then
kind of blown up, but
yeah, there's a lot going on with Chicago. We'll dive into that. So then we'll talk Colorado State. I hope you guys watched that because it was a good deal. Great game. It was. And then we'll talk some Nick Chubb and get to our sneakers of the week in about 30 minutes. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
We've got a lot of quarterback talk this week. Starting off, the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes agrees to terms on a reconstructed contract for record payday. Steve, how you feeling about this one?
I am it's kind of like weird, to be honest. And I don't know if it's because the fact that he signs this like close to 10-year deal, right? And you're like, oh, well, he's the highest paid like guy ever, $500 million. And then a lot of it every year since then, they've been just shuffling this money around. turning it into guaranteed money. And then they threw out the words like when somebody throws out the word like mechanisms, it means some foolery.
Yeah.
Like in the back of their mind, because now that I'm thinking about it, and as we're talking, I'm like, they have been throwing out this word like key mechanism. There's some key mechanisms in like his contract. So to me, it's like they had a lot of foresight. They're saying, okay, well, Josh Allen's going to get his deal. We'll give you this deal, $500 million. Josh Allen's going to get his deal. Joe Burrow's going to get his deal. Justin Herbert's going to get his deal. Lamar is going to get his deal.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is going to get his deal. And then we'll circle back around, and we have all this money out there. And Patrick's saying all the right things, like I want to keep people around me. You know, I want to set the market. I want to do this. And I'm doing it for the other QBs behind me. And then they turn around and give him, what was it, 4 years, 210 some odd dollars, 210 million. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And now it just kind of erases the rest of the year. They just put it all up into the 4-year mark. Now, if I'm Chris Jones, I'm scratching my head like, wait a minute. I know Patrick's money was there. Like they didn't give him any extra. They just moved it all to lower the number of years. It's like, man, why couldn't I get some of that? You know what I'm saying? Like that means y'all still had money, even though like the money's in the kitty, it's already accounted for or whatever. But like Patrick could have waited. You know, he could have waited. And I get it. Like you pay your quarterback first. Like you pay the guy that's going to help you win games. But
does that mean Chris Jones doesn't help you win games?
My point, yeah, exactly. I think they could have. If I'm Chris, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm happy for my guy, I'm happy for my teammate, you know, whatever. But I want to take care of my family too.
I think part of that you see why when you really kind of like look at it in hindsight, you see why he held out.
Mm-hmm.
Either him or his agents, I think, got word of this contract, of the dealings of this, of the rumblings of this, and that's where his held out came from. It's like, okay, you backing up the truck for him.
What about me?
What about the defensive guys? And that's kind of been the story since the first Super Bowl run, of really taking care of other players outside of Patrick and Travis. And that's the tough part. Yeah. I mean, when you look at the Steelers, when they had their run, it was a decision between paying Ben, paying Le'Veon, or Antonio Brown. And we see how that went. Like,
right.
They paid Ben, but then that left his teammates disgruntled.
Right.
Because Le'Veon, they wanted to, same as Chris Jones, wanted to franchise tag him. He said no. He ended up sitting out a whole year, and then the whole relationship with Antonio Brown just like falters from there. And that's the tough thing.
I think AB got paid though. Antonio Brown got paid.
Did he get paid?
Yeah, he got paid.
Oh, so he
got paid. That's when like everything clicked in his head. Like, that's when he came. You know, business is booming.
Yeah, and I think he's still left on bad terms.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But same sentiment. Like your quarterback's getting paid, and you aren't. Like you're one of the guys that are the driving force, and that was Le'Veon. Like sitting back watching that, I don't think he wanted it to play out like that. Like, hey, take care of me. Like I'm a running back. I have a far lower shelf life. Y'all have taken care of him for the past 10, 12 years. And it's like, why can't I get it? And I think that's where Chris Jones was. And that's why it was such a head scratcher of why he's holding out, why he was doing all the Twitter back and forth, not back and forth, but he was posting cryptic messages and stuff.
Yeah. And it kind of went back and forth because he answered fans and yeah. But and Jazz, you made a good point. It's like, why Chris is the defense. And we could see it like, so you had the game in against Detroit, home game. He's sitting between, it's like you sitting between me and Q, right? At the stands. I mean, in the stands at the game. And everybody's wondering why are you doing, why are you here? I mean, I get it. It's like, shoot, I'm just going to show up, whatever. Y'all ain't paying me. I'm going to be there, whatever. And a lot of people were like, all right, well, is it his agents? Is it him? And you mentioned that he didn't have a clear plan. And so he's just kind of oh, I'll listen to what my agents say, you know?
Yeah.
And now it's like the team, the defense played well. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. They hold the team to a good team. Crazy, I'm saying Detroit, but a good team, Detroit Lions, at least offensively, and they held them to 14 points. And anytime you can hold a team to 14 points when you got Patrick Mahomes, you know, leading your offense, that's guaranteed. You 9 times out of 10 you're gonna win. And so they played well that game. And then the second game, you could definitely see a boost, you know, to make them a more of an elite type defense. And they were in the red zone 3 times. They held the Jacksonville Jaguars. They only were able to convert 3 fourth downs or third downs out of 12 to get first. And so I'm like, Chris Jones coming off the street was balling. You know, so it's like, man, he was clearly the best player on the field, and that's including Patrick Mahomes.
But I think that kind of makes his case too. Like, I haven't even been to training camp, and I'm still in shape. I'm taking care of myself.
Yep.
I know the defense in and out.
Yeah.
So there was no gap there. Yeah, it's tough, but what are you gonna do? Not pay Patrick Mahomes?
Now, Mahomes did speak to the media on Wednesday about his new deal. Let's hear what he had to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a great spot. I got a lot of great people around me. Very thankful to the Hunt family and the Chiefs organization. And glad that now I can just go out there and play football. And so you get that security, and I already had it, but just to get a little bump and then be able to go back out there and just play football, I'm excited for it. Where do you get that? Yeah, I mean, it's not a ton of communication. I think it's just kind of a known that you got to keep the bar going. You got to keep it moving. I don't want people to be negotiated against me, and so that's a reason that you do something like I did this last week, just trying to keep the market moving in the right direction, trending in the right direction, so not only me but other quarterbacks and other positions can get paid the money that they deserve.
Money's always going up. It's always gonna go up. 200 something $million. 4 years. That's
210.6. What are you doing with 210 mil?
I don't know. I'm spending it.
You'll not.
Can't take it with me.
Yeah,
I'm spending it.
Definitely spending it. Probably burning a lot of it too.
Most definitely. We outside.
Outsiders of the outsiders.
Man.
Y'all would not see me again. I'm on a PJ every weekend.
Oh no, I'd still do this show.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think y'all would know where I would be. But I definitely do it virtual from somewhere.
Man. Yeah, I'm definitely doing a different island every weekend. You will not catch me.
That stuff adds up though.
Nah, it definitely
not to 210 mil.
Oh yeah, you can spend that.
I think it'll take me a minute.
MC Hammer blew 100 million.
It's doable.
If anybody can blow 200 million, it's me. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like 200 million, that ain't enough.
Yeah.
At least you're honest with yourself.
Yep.
You gonna see me courtside with a pregnant Rihanna.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
You would definitely see me out like, look, hey, ASAP, you want some nachos too, buddy? I got you. No.
Moving on.
Talk about honest. That's honest.
The Kansas City Chiefs will take on the Chicago Bears on Sunday. There's been a lot of beef, a lot of smoke coming from the Chicago organization right now. Quarterback Justin Fields' coaching comments dominated headlines, and then the offensive coordinator Alan Williams resigned. Bears were dealt another blow. Hundreds of $1,000s worth of equipment was stolen from the team facility. They just can't catch a break.
Yeah, like, and I want to talk about that for a minute. $100,000 worth of team equipment. Like, I get it. It's the NFL. Like, it could be like one or two things, like 100 grand, right? What you gonna do with that?
It wasn't one or two things.
No, I know.
They drove off with a whole truck.
I know. But still, it's just like, what are you gonna do with it? Like, can I get on eBay and look for Chicago Bears equipment and find it? Or what are you doing with it? It's probably at somebody's high school. It's probably at somebody's high school right now.
It's got to be
on
an
the
inside
south side.
job. It's got to be an inside job.
It's on the south side, huh?
Yeah, nah, it's definitely at some like South suburban.
No, it's the
teams,
south side of
like-
Chicago. This ain't that south suburban. Yeah, it's crazy though, man. Like to be in 1 week to have all these distractions, and you're playing you're getting ready to play a Super Bowl contender. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then have your quarterback, and this happened before the equipment, but then to have your quarterback basically saying he's feeling like a robot.
Yeah.
And it's because of coaching.
I think that was kind of blown out of proportion.
Yeah,
always. Because I think he was honest in that. I think he was honest in saying like, I'm normally free when I'm playing, and I don't have to think so much. And I think that's what he's saying. Like we've added too much into whether it's the scheme or whether it's the playbook. I mean, we remember the old John Gruden clips of his quarterbacks, rambling off basically an ingredients menu type of thing,
like quarterback you or something that he did.
And you're naming all this like trips right, Z slant, crooked eye letter, like, and it's like, nah, you don't need all that. Like, just call a play. And we've seen it work. Like we've seen it work in like Philly. We've seen it work in KC. We've definitely seen the Chiefs have just a name for a play, and everybody knows where they're at. And that's what it is. It's taking the guesswork out of a game that's just so fast. And a lot of coaches lag behind with that. So again, like your John Grudens, I think it was back in the day, like the Tom Coughlins, like when you have a certain style that's so old, you gotta kind of progress into the current. And who knows what how long their play calls are, but I mean, there's something in there where he has to just think too much, whether it's pre-snap or during the play. And you want to take the guesswork out of that especially for your best players.
Yeah. And my thing about Justin Fields is he needs that veteran presence. I think I said this on Monday during our Red Hour show. You think about like Patrick Mahomes, he set a whole year behind Alex Smith. Alex Smith, I mean, no matter what people say about Alex Smith, he taught Pat how to be a pro. Like whether it's film study, how to go through a game week preparation, all the way down just to, being able to deal with family and football. And I think Alex taught him all of that. Now you look at everyone else who's kind of had to start as a rookie. I mean, Justin Fields, Justin Herbert had to sit behind Phillip Rivers, I believe. He sat behind Phillip Rivers a year. Trevor Lawrence had to go down there and start right away, but it's taken him a little bit longer because you're figuring it out on the go. And if you don't have a veteran presence in that room, whether he's a starter or not, I think you're going to struggle.
No, definitely. And Jalen Hurts had that same trajectory. I think being able to sit behind a veteran and kind of watch them ebb and flow throughout the season. But then also like learning how to break down film, learning how to, pre-snap reads on defenses and things like that. Yeah, it definitely helps for a quarterback. And a lot of times I think it helps for a corner and a safety kind of guy too, to, be a nickel guy first. We have our standouts, like, your Marcus Peters, that just stand out from the first year on. But there are a few positions on the field that it does help to like sit back for that first year.
And then they went and got some guys. I mean, you got Chase Claypool, you got DJ Moore, all those guys around him. But the problem is and I watched Chicago play, and I watched a lot of his film this past week. And he just holds the ball too long. Like a lot of these quarterbacks in the league now, like 2 seconds, get that ball out.
Yeah.
He holds the ball. You got to be able to survey the field within a second, really, and know where you're going to go, who the high route is. And he holds the ball 3-4 seconds, and your offensive line can't keep up.
And again, I think that's a symptom, like he said, of like having to think too much.
Yeah.
Like, in the West Coast offense, it was a 3-step drop on your last step. You should be ready to fire the ball. Same thing with the 5 and 7-step drop. And he's having issues with that. And I don't know what exactly it is. And we've seen some freeze frames on social media and stuff just of him like holding the ball on the last step of his drop. And you have a couple of guys open, but I mean, you also like see defensive linemen screaming at him and having those offensive line issues. So it seems like there's a lot of issues, not only within the scheme, but also within the player personnel that hasn't allowed him to grow too much. So
definitely. What do you guys see out of this game on Sunday?
I'd see the Chiefs having a confidence game. I think this is a game where a lot of the young guys should be able to step up, catch a couple of balls that they, that helps them get their season going, helps Patrick build some trust in them because there's been a lot of drops over the past couple of weeks. But I think the Chiefs really just kind of like burn through this team. Like we said, it's a distracting week for them. And especially with a young team, it's going to be hard to come back from that. Like it's really going to be hard to come back from, the noise around your defensive coordinator. First, it was like some FBI raid story. That was funny. But now whatever personal issues that he's going through, you never know how that's going to affect the players. I mean, they know to some extent what he has going on at home. And how does that, transfer over against the defending world champs? Like, how do you respond to that? And that's going to be tough for like really young players, but this is like a gut check game for the Bears almost, because it's you have to come in playing your best, and if you aren't, you have a chance of this Chiefs team really kind of building confidence this week.
I think you've got to stop Justin Fields. I mean, granted, we talk about him holding the ball, but he's still a threat using his legs. I believe there was some instance, some game, or a couple of plays where he was I think it was like 20 yards or something like that, was just as fast as Tyreek. When you look at like how fast he was able to move in space. And so without Nick Bolton, he's out this week. Of course, Nick Bolton is always the one, basically spying the quarterback. Willie Gay's questionable because of his quad. Richie James is out. So you're going to have to figure out punt return. Who would that be? Are you going to throw Sky back there? Who else are you going to put back there in punt return? I think that's going to be a question that Dave Tobe didn't answer this week. Zed Pacheco, he's questionable. So does that leave Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Does that give Jerick McKinnon more of the reps? Or are you going to have to call up P. Ryan, like your rookie running back? I mean, like, what are you going to do? And then you got L'Jarius Sneed, who's questionable because of his toe. So, I mean, there's a bunch of like questions surrounding this Chiefs team too, because of injuries, right? And I still say that Travis Kelce isn't 100%.
Yeah.
And then the offense has been struggling, so it's going to have to be some guys that have to step up.
And I think that's this week forward. Your Justin Rosses that are still sitting, waiting to be unleashed. I think there's a couple of guys that really have a chance to step up and, like I said, build the trust from Patrick.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the injury list was this long for the Chiefs this week. I think Nick Bolton that's a key piece to miss.
He's a leader on the defense. He wears the green dot, which means he gets the play calls from the defensive coordinator. And he spits that out in split second to tell the guys where to line up. So it's going to have to be, I don't know if it's going to be Willie Gay that turns into, or
if he's questionable, how do you work on that during the week?
Yeah. He's at practice, but does that turn into, are you going to have Drew Tranquil, a guy that's been a veteran that, he's played that position. So I think Drew is going to have to be the one that you put in there. And that's why you brought him in. He's the veteran in the room. He spent a lot of time with the Chargers. The Chargers defense hasn't always been bad. right?
No,
Like their
they
defense has been one of the reasons they've
Yeah.
been in a lot of games over these past 7 to 10 years.
definitely.
So yeah, it's gonna be a game, but I think the Chiefs pull it out. Hopefully they don't keep it close. Here's the thing about what happens with this Chiefs team, you allow teams to stay in the game. That's not always a good thing.
Mhm.
You look at that game against Detroit, the turnovers that the Detroit was able to capitalize on those.
Mhm.
Jacksonville was not able to capitalize on those penalties, turnovers. You can't continue to shoot yourself in the foot and think that you're gonna win the game. Jazz, who you got?
I think I agree with you. This is a confidence builder one. I have to agree. I'd take the Chiefs. I think the biggest thing would be the injuries. I mean, but it's not anything that we haven't been dealing with already.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously with Travis being the controversial injuries too. I think it'll just be a gut check a little bit. And like I agree. I don't think that they should let them hang around. I think it should be a statement game, if anything. Like if we're healthy or we can figure it out, even if we're not all healthy, and just clear the air on everything.
Yeah, they haven't scored 30 points. That's another thing. Like Eric Bieniemy, that whole thing is like they haven't scored 30 points yet.
Missing Eric Bieniemy and Tyreek Hill is really showing this year.
Yeah.
Like Tyreek wasn't missed much last year, just from the couple of pieces that they brought in, but this year it's showing, and not having that veteran in the wide receiver room, it'll be interesting to see how the season shakes out. But again, this game they need to step up. Like I don't think there's any questions. And a team with this amount of distractions, if they come in and you let them stay in the game, I mean, all it takes is one blown blitz and Justin Fields up the middle. And again, talking about that speed. So, but I don't think any of that happens. I'd be surprised if Chicago stays in this game.
Facts. Next, the Dion effect. CSU in Colorado draws late night record 9.3 million viewers on ESPN, and it even went till about 2:30 a.m.
Yeah, that was a late one, huh?
Were y'all tapped in?
Yeah, I was until 2 a.m. Because I was in Jacksonville Saturday night and just watching the game. I'm like, man, what time is it? Oh wow, because that was the game didn't start till 10.
Oh yeah,
because it was 9 o'clock here. Yeah. So it was definitely 2:30, almost 3 o'clock. And it was a good game. Like I'm like, dang, are they gonna come back? Because I'm like, oh man, this is all Colorado needs is a team that's talking crazy, and they come out and and win. They got some stuff to fix on the defensive side of the ball. And then you're going into this game against Oregon, and you don't have Travis Hunter. Then Oregon is talking. His coach said, I can't remember, what did he say? Talking about you can do all that stuff on YouTube, but that doesn't correlate to the field or something. He said,
wow.
Yeah, it just came out this morning. So, man, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Colorado responds this week against Oregon.
He said videos don't win games. That's what he said.
Really?
Yeah. YouTube videos.
I think that Travis Hunter injury could be a big one. We definitely would have loved to see him next week at USC. But you can't be a team that looks too far ahead. And I think for them, the pressure is really on.
It's always on.
I kind of want them to lose a game early.
Do you? I'm gonna run the table.
I would like them. Do you think they could run the table?
I think they can.
You think they can? And that's what I don't know. And I'm not trying to put doubt in them, but I mean, you missing Travis Hunter, that's a key injury, especially a guy that plays. I mean, what does he play? Like 80% of the snaps on both sides of the ball?
A lot.
Like
he's averaging like 100 snaps a game.
Yeah, and that's a lot of snaps to be missing this guy for 2, 3, 4 weeks. But I'm interested to see how they respond today. Different environment. They're playing on the road in Oregon. Oregon is probably not an easy place to play. And especially with
Definitely
all
not easy.
the pretty and shiny things that are going on around the stadium, and then they usually have some pretty shiny jerseys.
Mhm.
But Shador had his Rolex that he was flexing.
I mean, he can't bring that on the field. He's not bringing that on the field.
That's what he had it. He had it on the field.
He had it on the field.
Yeah, that's where the Shador,
when he was
Shador
like,
came
sure.
from.
Oh, man.
So he's coming with it.
Look,
He's coming right back
Look,
with it.
Tom Brady was right. He spend less time with those expensive things and
Mhm.
and start focusing
in the film
on
room.
Yeah, because it's a difference in having that, and Shador probably knows the mama mentality more than it is like, Jordan, but you definitely have to like lock in, and this is the level of like creating that habit of like locking in and being able to understand your opponent, but then also being able to understand your team. So not saying that a Rolex in a car like distracts you,
Yeah.
but it's easy to see how like those shiny things can like distract from like the goal that you have going on. And Oregon, like I said, is not going to be an easy place to play. And especially with all the hype around the game, I would guess that team comes out fired up.
You know, I've said this about professional athletes' kids. They tend to be more prepared for big situations, if that makes sense. Like, because they've seen
it their whole lives.
Yeah, they've seen it. They've seen the preparation that their
i.e.
mom or dad,
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that their mom or dad has. I mean, Patrick's dad was a pitcher.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a lot of pressure. Being out there on that island and you have the control of the game. So I think that's where Shador, like even going into the fourth quarter and they're down a touchdown, that's where that comes from. Like where he's able to just go out there. And Deion talked about it post game, and I think earlier this week, it's like how does Shador able to maintain and seem so calm? It's like because he's seen it. We've been there through Little League, through high school, and now through college. Nothing's changed. He's still the same player, and he's seen Deion go through like the pressure of just being Deion Sanders. So he's instilled all that into him, and then his other son that plays on the defensive side of the ball. But yeah, I think Colorado is going. I'd like to see them run the table.
Yeah, I think we all would, but I just feel like they're gonna fall one time, and it's I would like to see it so it takes some of that pressure off.
Yeah.
Because then I mean you're at the the wheel of the the rest of the teams, but I think for them flying so high for so long it kind of would stunt your development really, and especially not being able to go through that that hardship of like getting beat, but then coming back and trying to figure out how how to not get beat in that same manner because you get beat and the tape is out on you. We know football is a copycat sport. So.
But these are all underdog, like they're underdog kids. Like all of them are. I mean, you got a lot of them that come from the HBCU. Going through the HBCU recruiting process. I'm saying not all of them, but a majority of them. And so I think they're in not being able to, like, they're ranked 19, but everybody still has that question mark. Like I was talking to some guys in the press room earlier this week, and they're like, "Well, do you think Deion really coaches?" And I'm like, "What?" Yeah. They're like, "Well, how is he able to do XYZ during the week? This interview, that interview, and do this media appearance?" And I'm like, "It's Deion."
Have they heard of Bill Self?
So I'm just that was my, and he's like, "Well, I don't really think he coaches. We don't never see him on the field like doing the X's and O's." Well, they were like, "Well, maybe he coaches, but he doesn't really do the X's and O's." And I'm like, so I want to ask y'all, do y'all feel like Deion actually coaches, or do y'all think he's more? And this was their comment. He's more of a general manager.
No.
And not with his experience. There's no way that he doesn't like insist on getting his hands in the middle of everything. Like of course we don't know him personally, but seeing his personality, seeing him, the way he talks to his players and everything, I couldn't imagine him not like diving so far into the actual like nitty gritty of it. I think he enjoys that side of it. And that's why we see so much of him like motivating and like he talks about getting to know his players and like all the extra stuff too. But I think it's because of his love for the actual game, football, and that just like all of that comes with him being so diving so hard into football.
And like Travis Hunter, I mean, he played both ways. He returned punts and kicks
and play baseball. Don't forget
like,
that.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he's done multiple positions on the field at a high level. But then also, I mean, the coaching staff of Bobby Bowden, and staying with Bobby Bowden for how long was he at Florida State? 2-3 years? Because I don't think he finished. And then you look at his stint in the NFL. He played with 4 or 5 teams. So those different coaching staffs, like, you're able to pick up on these skills. And then also being an NFL reporter. What do you think he's doing getting ready for Sunday morning? He's visiting these teams, talking to these coaches, talking to these players, like seeing how their week is. Like, yeah, you garner all those skills along your way. So now you are a coach.
I didn't even forgot about him being a reporter too.
That is an asinine comment.
I forgot all about that.
To say, like, do you think he coaches? What do you mean? Do you think a former player coaches? Like, what? But that's the unrealistic doubts that we had, like, a lot of people have on black athletes, like trying to become coaches or, whatever field it is. Like, we question their professionalism, we question their skills, but clearly he's 2 wins in the Pac. Well, is it 3 wins in the Pac-10 now?
3-0.
Yeah, 3 wins in the Pac-10 now. Not to say that the Pac-10 is one of the worst leagues out there. It's not the SEC, but it's still Division I collegiate athletics.
Yeah.
Like, so that's a crazy comment. Like, like, I'm like, go sit in the corner and think about that, please.
Now, this one was really hard to watch. Brown star Nick Chubb to undergo surgery on season-ending knee injury. Kareem Hunt returns to the Browns as replacement. Q, your thoughts on this one?
They signed Kareem. I mean, that's a bright spot for Kareem, and I mean that tandem of him and Kareem, that team that that could have been with Baker Mayfield. I think he kind of squandered that opportunity, but I hate it for Nick because did they say this is the same injury he had coming out of Georgia? Or was it similar?
Yeah, it was same knee. It was,
and that's the tough part too. Like, coming back from that, like, I know it's probably like 4 or 5 years removed since he had that injury, but still, like, I think the mental part of getting over that and getting back to 100% in the NFL. I mean, I hope to see him next season, but I'm also glad to see that Kareem Hunt gets on the team and is able to start his career again. So,
and like you said, I think the biggest thing for me was the mental side of it. Like, I had a big injury in high school, not this gruesome, but just I remember coming back in like your first couple games, and as it goes on and like years later, of course, you're more comfortable, but just being so hesitant, like going into tackles, going into different plays, and like you're not quite, you think you are, or it may look like it, but you're still not quite 100 going into those. And then I couldn't imagine that exact same situation, that same side. Like, how does an athlete mentally come back from the second one? Like, that's your worst nightmare is it happening all over again. So for him, I'm like, I don't know how mentally he could come back next year.
And there's been a couple of guys just here recently that have come back from multiple injuries. I mean, you look at not even in the NFL, you look at KD, you look at Klay Thompson. That's just 2. And then you look at Derrick Johnson. He tore his Achilles on one foot, and I think didn't he tear his Achilles on the other foot?
On the other one,
So when he came back from, you look at OBJ. He had messed his knee up, went back to play the next season, in the Super Bowl. Messed his knee up again. Now he's out again because of an ankle. So So I mean, you look at these guys who go through these injuries, but I mean that's why they play football. And the thing that got me was the fact that people were attacking Steelers safety Minkah Fitzpatrick on social media. because calling him a dirty player, saying that it was a dirty hit.
Nah.
And I mean, just looking at it, Nick Chubb has Minkah Fitzpatrick probably by about 60 pounds. I mean, when you look at just the size difference, I mean, he's a safety, he's more elusive. Nick Chubb is a big guy, and he's a very strong runner. I mean, we've seen Nick Chubb run guys over. So if Minkah Fitzpatrick hits Nick Chubb high,
it's a chance he loses that.
It's a chance. That battle he's going to lose. If he hits him low, then I mean that's the only way to even have a chance is to get his legs.
I mean, that's that for defensive backs, that's the go-to for, and especially bigger running backs like that. Like, it's not like you're grabbing a McCole Hardman and it's a lighter guy. Like, nah, this is Nick Chubb. Mm-hmm. I think he's close to like 230, 240, something like that.
Yep.
And he's a hard runner. And Fitzpatrick commented this week. He's like, that's Nick Chubb. And when you play against a guy, twice a year at least, like, exactly how you need to tackle him, how to stop him. And sometimes that knee gets in the way. And not the knee gets in the way, but sometimes it's unfortunate sometimes like that. And a lot of these athletes know that coming into the game, like, there's a chance that my cleat gets stuck in the turf while somebody's hitting me, and it's not able to turn. And that's just the unfortunate situation. Injuries are just an unfortunate happenstance of the game.
And Jazz, I think your mom was on our social media feed. She said your dad came back from 2 injuries.
He blew out one knee, and then the very next game that he was back, he blew out the other.
Wow.
And then he ended up winning national championships, and obviously like his career panned out. But yeah, I mean, I remember that was one of the biggest things when I was going through my injury, talking to him and hearing that like mental side. And same thing, like he said, I mean, I couldn't imagine coming back the very next game and it being the other side. And so I think that played into it when I was going through it with myself. And that's why I looked at this as such like a mental aspect of it. Was just like talking to him and hearing his experience. And of course, like I said, I was hesitant going back in, and especially when you come from surgery, like in my case, of course, there was like scar tissue and things that you deal with post-surgery that was like, no, this is realistic. Like it could, if I tweak it even the slightest way, it could be all over again. And that's just, lingering in the back of an athlete's head is crazy.
Yeah. I dealt with it. Peyton my son hurt his finger, hit with the baseball, his index finger, broke his finger, had to go through surgery, out all summer. Came back to play fall ball, couldn't hit the ball. He's like, I don't think my bat works. And so, I had to point to, I told him, I said, well, you're not going to come back and just be an all-star, right? Like, you're not going to come back full motion like you're going through, summer, like you back at the beginning of the summer.
That's what you think.
And I had to show him Kadarius Toney. Like, Kadarius Toney missed. He went to training camp, first day of training camp, hurt his knee, had to get surgery. Back for the first game of the season, couldn't catch a ball. Like, and I said that was a veteran in the league. Like, he's a professional getting paid to do this and couldn't go perform his job because he had to get surgery and had to sit down and wasn't doing anything for a while. And so we finally got it. But sir, the mental aspect of when someone gets hurt, it's tough.
No, definitely, because you in your mind, your body works the same as it did before the injury.
Right.
But sometimes that don't. And I can attest to that, because even post COVID, like it's been tough for me in the gym, like really getting my body back going and really finding that stride. Because sometimes your body just doesn't respond. Like you remember how it used to respond, but not no more, player.
And to play at that level, like these are all pros. Like these guys are at the peak and top of their game, peak of their careers, bodies. So it's just a lot of layers on that one. I don't know how you could truly come back, but I do hope that he does. Now, missing ex-NFL star Sergio Brown resurfaces after his mother was found dead.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy story.
Question marks.
That's a crazy story. of course, his mom was missing. I think family members found her in the back of, I guess there's like a pond area or some water stream or something like that behind her house. She was found deceased, and they still haven't, brought anybody into custody. But the neighbor said that the story goes, the neighbor said that that they saw her son, which is the ex NFL player, like burning clothes or burning something and taking out a lot of garbage. So it's a weird situation.
Very weird.
Definitely weird. So I hope that they figure out, come to a resolution as the family and all that, because it's a weird thing.
Yeah. And I hope he gets the help he's needed,
Yeah.
because he didn't look distraught here and his mom was dead.
Yeah.
And that something's going on.
Yeah. And even for him to argue like fake news whenever they were claiming him missing, and that he thinks that the FBI had to play into it. So it's fishy. And then I think that kind of raises questions, like, and I hate to go there, but like with this whole CTE talk and all that, like what is his mental state truly like right now? Like, is this a reflection of things that he's gone through, or like spiraling? Is it a cry for help? Like, I'd just be interested to see like what is his role, or how he's mentally dealing with it.
Nah, because it sounds like he's going through something.
Yeah.
All right. We're on that note. We're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we got a lot to talk about. Keep it locked in. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Your loved ones matter the most. Take the burden away by pre-planning personal arrangements that fit you and your family perfectly. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services will be here to comfort your family and take special requests. Plan and feel confident your loved ones will be less stressed and can console each other in their time of need. We will be here when you need us at 816-231-GATE or visit kcgoldengate.com, exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Football fans, you can't spell gate without Gates, and great tailgates start with Gates sauces and seasonings. Named synonymous with mouth-watering tailgates. When you make your list of tailgate essentials, add Gates sauces and seasonings to that list. Spice up your tailgate experience with that unmistakable great taste. Available in 4 tantalizing flavors: classic, sweet, mild, and hot. Find it at your local grocer, and if you don't see it, ask for it. Visit GatesBarbecue.com to purchase any of the great sauces and seasonings. Great tailgates start with Gates.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Stick to just talking, Steve. Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it. Message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. To our hate it or love it segment.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off the sneakers of the week this week, we have the Air Jordan 2 Black Cements.
Yeah, fire.
Pass.
The 2s are my least favorite.
I agree.
These are classics.
I'm not a fan of 2s. Not a fan.
You just got to see them on feet. Like, pictures don't do them justice. Like, they got them things laced up too tight for one.
I was about to say, they look like ski boots right now.
They laced up too tight for one. But yeah, they fire.
You keep these Fila boots.
Yeah, hard pass. Air Jordan 6 low PSGs.
Fire.
I don't like these and lows either.
Fire.
I think I like the highs better,
Yeah.
but I like them. The colorway is nice.
Yeah.
I rather take the
Colorway's
highs.
cool.
Yeah.
But need the high top.
Albino and Preto Nike SB Dunk lows.
Kind of like
Real white. Like I
these.
like these too.
My favorites this
Yeah, I
week.
was saying these might be the
Yeah.
favorites this week because I don't like those Air Max.
Yeah.
Air Max are fire.
I like the Air Max. The A Cold Wall Nike Air Max Plus. I
Yeah.
have these in white, so I
These are-
can't even say I don't like
These are
them.
fire. Like, cause like normally they do the canvas. These are all leather. Yeah, super fire.
I'd rock them. I'm an Air Max fan.
Pass on all these except for the lows.
Now, basketball ref takes phone call while reffing game. Let's see what happened. Oh my God!
Look, that's the wrong call, Rob. Get off the... That's the wrong call. You need to take that outside, boy. Take a picture of him. I'm going to report it. Somebody take a picture. I'm going to report it.
Man, what are you doing if that happens at one of Peyton's games?
Oh, I'm going off. That's the wrong call, ref.
I mean, sometimes if there's like 2 minutes left in the game and you want to make sure
No.
DoorDash gets to your house at the same time you do, like you got to try to time it. And sometimes you might be at work.
Nah, that he was giving somebody some like directions. You could see his hand motion, like, yeah, no, you turn left down this street.
That's what I'm saying. Like he was making sure his food was on his porch when he got home.
Nah.
Maybe it was something serious. How do we
Nah.
know? He had to answer it.
Nah.
So if he would have just walked away, would it have been worse to answer the phone call?
Nah,
Then what?
that's when you call it my timeout, boop, my timeout, and you hit the other ref like, hey, give me a second.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That during the game. That is crazy.
Hey, I'm really trying to help dude out. I really tried. I really tried.
Crazy.
Pro Football Hall of Fame announces 173 modern era nominees for 2024 class. Hate it or love it.
Love it.
12 of them former Kansas City Chiefs are on the list.
Mhm. And not all of them are gonna make it.
Yeah, I like this. I hope that Jamaal Charles gets it.
Oh yeah, he should be first ballot. Easy.
You have Dante Hall on that list. You have
It'll probably take him a while to get there, but yeah.
You have a lot of nominees that are on that list that are from
you
Kansas City.
think Dante Hall had a Hall of Fame run?
Yes, he had some Hall of Fame worthy plays. He did. Not his whole career, but I feel like.
Well, and I think that's what the Hall of Fame is career versus plays.
So when I look at did he change the position? Return guy, like he's one of the best return specialists that there ever was.
And he was the same time as Devin Hester too, and I think Devin Hester's on this list. So
is he on this list?
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, he changed the way that teams had to play him as a return guy.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely.
Aaron Rodgers making progress on Achilles rehab, says, I'm going to put myself in position to be able to play again. Hate it or love it.
Oh, now he trusts doctors. Oh,
he's already going through rehab. It's another guy that he's gonna have to go through mental stuff.
Interesting change of events.
DeMarcus Cousins says when he was a college athlete, players were robbed and NIL deals ain't nothing but reparations. Hate it or love it.
I love this. Call him out. Boogie, call him out.
That is facts.
Let's hear what Cousins had to say.
It depends on certain situations. It also depends on the talent of the player. And we can use examples. Guys like a Tyler Hansborough, who was, a college legend. I think that type of guy would benefit from that greatly because once he gets to this other side, like the NBA, it's not the same thing.
Short,
You know what I'm saying? So I think a guy like that benefits. But then you have a John Wall. Why the would you stay 4 years?
He got to go league. He got to go to the league.
So I think it's a great option, and I'm happy about it because, one, even the guys that aren't as talented that can go to that next level, they still went through that same grind and sacrifice.
Right.
Them feet was hurting just like the next guys.
Facts. But does it help? But does it save college? It saves college?
College, man.
I'm just watching college
At this
news.
point, colleges, they're giving their reparations, man. At this point, they've robbed us enough. Let's just keep it a buck. These ain't nothing but reparations, bro.
It's bad.
Man, that's sick.
Talent pool
When you
bad
really
right
talk
now.
about it, when you really sit there and dig deep into that they had going on in college and how they treated these athletes. It's sick. This ain't nothing but reparations, man. I'm about that college.
Payback for some.
I watched how many people, man, I was at Kentucky, and this is no knock to Kentucky, because this is just the time we was in. Man, we having tournaments in fucking Cancun, Mexico. And there's 3,000 people with a Cousins in Kentucky shirt. But the vendor outside, he just made 60 bands with my name. But I get in trouble for a free meal?
Facts.
Come on, bro.
Or a drink or anything.
Like what?
Anything.
Reparations. Yeah, it's true. That's why I don't get mad when you see a kid like Shador getting a $300,000 watch or a $300,000 car.
And it's crazy because back then a lot of people were like ragging on a lot of those guys for being one and done through Kentucky. And it's like, you see why. Like you see all that money moving. I want some of that.
Yeah.
Correct. Now, back to baseball. ESPN's First Take host, Stephen A. Smith, blasts his own first pitch at Yankee Stadium, says, "I was disgusted with myself." Let's see what happened.
This just happened at the stadium. Stephen A. Smith, ESPN, throwing out the first pitch. A lot of conflict. That's a confident strike going to the top of the mound.
Very confident.
There, Jack. But as we've been told by Jack Curry, it is not easy throwing a strike from the top of the mound.
The catcher looks like he's about the size of a quarter.
One hop.
Yeah, that was bad. Let me ask y'all, could y'all throw out the first pitch?
Yeah.
And get it there?
It would get there. It wouldn't hit the ground first.
Like they give you the option. Do you want to go from the mound or in front of the mound?
I'm going in front of the mound.
In front of the mound?
Yeah.
I'm going from the mound. Let's do it. I guess because I've been throwing the baseball,
Yeah,
lately.
but
I'll go in front just to play it safe.
it's just one pitch.
No, I got to go through the
Oh.
I'm throwing from the mound.
And Steve gonna be the one that throw it. And
No. I've been throwing, like, these are people that haven't thrown a baseball. He probably hasn't thrown a baseball in 20 years.
Well, you better practice, warm up before you get out there.
You got to.
Yeah, because I'm definitely you
Go give me a glove real
You're gonna
quick.
see me in that tunnel warming up. But who's the backup catcher? You all right. Cool. Come with me.
Oh man, it's storming today. What you guys have going for the rest of the day?
Working.
Kicking it.
DJing,
Nothing too crazy.
getting over this hangover. Yeah. And also big shout out to my guy Sean Mack from Chicago. I flew him in yesterday to play at Aura last night.
Yeah.
Complete monster.
Love that.
The calm before the storm, huh?
Yeah. Nah,
you brought him in all happy, get him juiced up before Sunday.
He's not a Bears fan. He's more of a basketball guy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right,
But,
cool.
Yeah. He killed it last night. So
Heck yeah.
Shout out to the family. Quentin Day. It's his birthday today.
Oh,
Happy
yeah.
birthday.
Happy
Yes, sir.
man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for everyone who tuned in on today's show. Remember, you use hashtag talk about it, and you can talk about any topic that you want. We'll definitely talk about it. Until next week, we are out of here.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.